Radical.
This just in, the Golden State Warriors have traded Jordan Poole and Ryan Rollins, whoever the hell that is, and a couple future picks, distant future picks, for Chris Paul. Not from the Phoenix Suns, because Chris Paul got traded from the Phoenix Suns to the Wizards, who then traded Beal to the Suns, and the Wizards also got rid of Kristaps Porzingis. Now, Kristaps Porzingis is a guy I think that's what Golden State Warriors needed. They needed a big that could space the floor. But, they got Chris Paul, and he is 38 years old, and he is injury prone. But there's a lot of upside with Chris Paul. He's still a good shooter, great mid-range shooter, still a great passer. Chris Paul's one of the best to ever play the game. He's just old and kind of broke down now. But they got him, which is arguably an upgrade over Jordan Poole. Well, definitely it's an upgrade over Jordan Poole in the postseason, yeah, because Jordan Poole played like trash in the postseason. I think it was like 25% from three or something like that, It was not a pool party. It was not. And a lot of people can point to maybe why Jordan Poole he was just kind of off. Maybe the fact that, Draymond Green was there and he kept getting recollections of that punch. Some of you might not know that follow basketball, but there's a player named Draymond Green who is known as a dirty player on the court. He's known for punching, kind of like elbowing, kicking, whatever. He's a dirty player on the court. He tries to be slick and sly with it. But one time in practice, it was caught on video that he straight up just punched Jordan Poole. Just knocked his lights out. Punched him. Just straight up punch. Like not a shove, just a punch. And because of that, that was one of the big reasons I think the Warriors did not win a title last year. The team chemistry was just off, and you have to all be bought in. You can't have members of the team not playing their role. And another problem is I think Jordan Poole maybe kind of big-headed. I mean, he's a talented guy at times, but I think he got kind of big-headed, and he wanted a more important role on the team. And you had this whole thing the Warriors were trying to do, which was two different paths. We want to win now, but we want to set ourselves up for winning in the future. And that just did not work. It did not. So they had to get rid of him for various reasons. They had to get rid of Poole. They gave him that big money. They gave him that bag. They gave Wiggins that bag, and they gave Poole that bag. And you know what? Sometimes when a player gets a bag and they're really young, they get that money, they're just, something happens, something changes. And it changed with Jordan, at least on that team. Now he's going to the Wizards, and he's going to be number one scoring option, I guess. They're cleaning house. So it might be good for him to get his stats up. I mean, he's not winning anything, right? Jordan Poole, you got to understand, last year you won because Steph Curry, man. Like you won because you were on the Warriors. So now we'll see what happens. He's going to get a lot of points, no doubt. He is, because he's going to be far and away the number one scoring option. But we'll actually see maybe some weaknesses in his game, be more exposed because he's on the Wizards. He's not in a well-run organization like the Warriors. There's a big drop-off between the Warriors and the Wizards. So who's some winners and losers in the situation? I think both teams. I mean, I would say the Warriors are a bit of a loser because, like I said, they had to get off of Jordan Poole. I mean, 24 years old, promising future possible star. It's not every day that you have to get off of someone like that for an aging veteran that's almost pretty much at the end of their career, past their prime, end of the career, like Chris Paul. And not only did you have to do that trade, but you had to get rid of another player and some future picks. That's the desperate situation they were in. So I guess Warriors figured out, we got to do this right now, sooner than later, if we know we're going to get off of him. And the Wizards knew that the Warriors had to get off of him. So sometimes when you got something, you just got to get rid of it. You can't hide it. It's not like they can get through the season. I mean, they weren't going into next season with him on the team and another player on the team, Draymond Green. It was never cool with them after that punch, regardless of what they say. Draymond had some compliments for Jordan Poole in post interviews, but no. Behind the scenes, no. I can assure you, it was never cool between those two. Whatever problems they had before the season carried through, even if it wasn't on the court. You could tell in the court, maybe just their body language to each other. Like, nah, they had to get rid of Jordan. Like I said, they also wanted to. I'm pretty sure, unless they're crazy, they know they have to keep Draymond Green. Now, Draymond Green, some people might say, is, get a little bit maybe past his prime, not as good as he used to be, but still, he's an amazing defensive player. He's an amazing thrower of punches and kicks and stomps. He's great at stomping on opposing players and getting technicals. But when he's really locked in, he can be deadly with Steph, man, when he's really locked in and they have that chemistry. So you don't want to break up that chemistry between Steph and Draymond and really the core of the team that's still good and played good in playoffs. I think they're going to probably try to go all in to get Steph another ring so he can have 5 rings and the team can have a 5th ring. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices to do that. If that happens, they might go all in. They might be terrible for a decade. Who knows? But sometimes you gotta take your chances. You have one of the best players ever play the game in Steph Curry getting close to the end of his career. So I'm guessing they're going to maximize everything they can to see if they can make it work, man. Because what you got, like maybe a year or 2 of Steph's prime left. So this Chris Paul trade, how good of a fit is it on the team? I don't think he'd be starting. So you can make an argument maybe he could start and have, Steph maybe the 2, maybe, because Steph's not a pure point guard. He's really not. I know he plays point guard, but he's not a pure point guard. I'd say, more of a shooting guard. And he's zooming all over the place. That'd be kind of deadly in the offense, having Chris Paul actually passing to Steph Curry. But problem is with that is you can't really start Chris Paul. You can't play him, 35 to 40 minutes a game. You can't do that. He's going to break down. Like I said, there's a lot of angles I'm not going to get into. It could be a smoke screen. Maybe what they're trying to do is to actually play Chris Paul, limited minutes, get his trade value up through the season, and then do what they did with D'Lo for Wiggins. D'Angelo Russell, trash D'Angelo Russell on the Lakers. They actually got Wiggins for D'Angelo Russell. Believe it or not, that actually happened. They got Wiggins for D'Angelo Russell. So you catch some teams maybe that are kind of desperate toward halfway through the season to trade deadline, and maybe they're becoming contenders, and maybe they just need a real solid player that can, be great for the young guys in a leadership veteran role. Chris Paul, maybe the Grizzlies aside, maybe they want Chris Paul to come in, I think the Grizzlies might have been actually the best team for Chris Paul to go to, with that team being so young. And maybe they're going to try to hold out and see if they can get either like a center, like a good big to back up Looney, or maybe 2 or 3 solid role players for Chris Paul. With the latter, I think might be the best route, but I'm not sure. I just know that they had to make the move. They had to get rid of Jordan Poole. And it's a shame when you have to let something go or someone go for a lot less than, it's worth or will be worth, but they had to make this move. Leave it in the comment section down below. What would you have done? Would you made a different trade, knowing you had to get rid of you had to get rid of Jordan Poole? Would you have traded for Chris Paul? Would you have tried to actually, get Kristaps Porzingis? I think they're a little late on this. They should have did everything they could to get Kristaps Porzingis, even if they had to add another player other than Jordan Poole to get Porzingis. But still, not a bad move for the Warriors, given the situation, I would say.